My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. So, how do you have self-value when you grow up in a world that does not promote self-value? In fact, it really trains you against it in most cultures, most places in the world, except for a very few places where you might have the right gender, you might have the right status, you might have been born into the right family, and then you're valuable, and that's it. That's what I'd like to explore with you today in the Curious Universe podcast. Thank you for joining me. This topic of self-value has been coming up a lot in some of my group programs and even actually some conversations with friends where they have become aware that they're choosing relationships and they're choosing things in their life that continually validate their lack of self-value, their lack of value, and perpetuate the cycle. Where can we go from here? What is really possible for you if you knew the value of you? So let's look at value for a minute. What is valuable? So it's really interesting to me. My kid was actually telling me the other day that there's certain Pokemon cards that are valued, like worth like this insane amount of money for a Pokemon card. So does it actually mean it's valuable? It is to those that value it, right? So it's not valuable to me. I wouldn't pay that amount of money. And I wouldn't even consider selling Pokemon cards for that much because to me it doesn't match my value system. It's not on my scale of value systems. What if your value system was the way to rate value rather than looking out into the world at other people's value systems? So if I were to buy into this Pokemon thing, then I would be like, oh my God, this is valuable, right? Some people really value antiques, and then other people throw them away because they're old and they're ugly and they don't like them. Some people really value beauty, or they really value intelligence, or they really value humor. That doesn't mean that has to be valuable to you. If you can get clear on what your value system is, truly, not from the points of view you've bought from around you, from family, from society, from the world, but what's true for you, then you'll start to be able to break apart some of these lies and actually get a clear sense of your own value. So for me, one of the like top ranking things on my value system is consciousness and a willingness to choose for the possibility of more consciousness. Does that make sense? So if I were to like associate with certain people, or I were to be drawn to certain people, the people that I'm mostly drawn to are the ones that have this urge, this beyond desire, but this desire to make the world a greater place. That desire to expand consciousness throughout the earth, to contribute to the world becoming a more conscious place. That is probably the top level up here of my value system. So that goes with friends, that goes with family, that goes with creations, everything in my life I see as more valuable if it expands consciousness. That's just how it works for me. That's when I got really clear on what is really valuable to me. Okay. Now, that being said, there's other things that are valuable to me too, but that is like the top ranking, right? So what is it for you? what is your top ranking um, items on your value list? Is it, having owning a home and having two cars? Like, is that the biggest value in the entire world for you? Is it for some people it's family, like that's their number one top, 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 For other people, it's love itself. What is it for you? And again, not what you were told, not if like you were a little kid and you were told, love conquers all and love is the most special thing in the whole world and it's all about love. I used to believe that for a really long time. But sorry, I have this delicious tea here. I've been waiting to sip it, but it's still too hot. What is it truly for you, that value system? What is your top? It doesn't have to be consciousness like me. It could be whatever it is, peace. It could be joy. It could be play. It could be having fun. Okay. That's your value system. So you get clear on that. And that might take a little while. You might have to really dig deep. You might have to break apart some of the lies that you've bought about what's valuable. I I don't know if it was with my dad. I used to watch a lot of these like old school black and white sitcoms, and it was all about the perfect family with the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the dog and the whole thing, right? And funny enough, we had a white picket fence that my dad built and I helped install in our house. And so for me, my value system, my top used to be, well, it used to be Jesus because I was raised that way. And then it was family and then, okay? So that was my most valuable thing. So I would sacrifice anything for family. That was like what I was searching for was this perfect ideal, utopian ideal family that I could never create. When I really looked at it later on, it's like even before I started to explore consciousness per se, I started to realize that family wasn't what I was told it was. I was told it was this thing, but I never had seen it. Not only in my own life with my own family, but none of my friends actually had this. And I started to realize this is an illusion projected on TV. This is an ideal that we're supposed to achieve for that's unachievable. So I stopped valuing it in the same way. I let that go. I let the lie of that value go out of my life. And one of the benefits of that was I stopped judging myself for not having it. I remember 20 years old and I thought I was supposed to already have my white picket fence. I was supposed to be pregnant or getting married. I had all these ideas and I started to really let those go and realize like maybe that isn't the most valuable thing. Maybe adventure is valuable to me. Maybe traveling is really valuable to me. Total change in perspective, right? A lot of us, we just grasp onto whatever our parents see as valuable and we hold on to that and then we start to create our lives that way. You create your reality that way. Mm. And all sorts of incongruencies can show up from that and a lot of judgment because you're judging you and you're judging everyone else and you're judging everything based on this um, value system. All right, so let's say you start clearing out all these lies. You start clearing out these ideals, these impelled value systems. I used to think only skinny bodies were valuable bodies. So crazy. I used to think tall, skinny bodies actually, because I was short. So I had to make sure I was out of the value system. Tall, skinny bodies were the valuable bodies, right? But isn't that what we see them? That's what's on the magazines. That's what is being shown to us every day. Like those Hallmark movies, like how many of them are with, someone that doesn't look like a perfect Barbie? Now, I want to acknowledge that that is changing, and I see it changing all the time, and I'm really enjoying where people are willing to create beyond that stereotype. So amazing. But that's what I bought was a valuable body. Okay, so what was a valuable person? Well, given to the church, it was someone who sacrificed themselves. It was someone that gave up themselves. It was someone that dedicated themselves to service. This is something I bought dynamically. That's what made me valuable, is what I could do for others. It's how I could help others. That's what made me valuable. So I did that and I held on to that. And if I wasn't doing that, I didn't feel valuable at all. Didn't have a sense of having any worth or value in the world if I wasn't sacrificing something for someone. So guess what kind of friends I had to pull into my life? What kind of partners I had to pull into my life? What I had to do at work? Oh my gosh, just to maintain some level of value, had to have that to keep validating that I am valuable enough to even be here on the planet. I hope that as you're hearing me talk about me, you're mostly thinking about you, because this isn't about me, it's about you. It's about where you judge you on the value scale. What is it when you're doing fill in the blank, you feel valuable? So what is it that when you do it, you feel valuable? And that's okay. I'm not asking you to get rid of that, but then I want you to look at, is it even valuable to you? So it took me a while to realize that it wasn't valuable to me to give up everything for others. It actually wasn't valuable to me to serve others, especially when I was more aware and more capable than the people I was serving. So for what reason am I coming under them and helping them up and helping them forward, when if I were to take lead, if I were to go, I could actually open doors to new possibilities for all. But instead, I was in service to them, hoping that that was going to open up a new possibility for them. But it never did. It never worked. Have you ever dedicated your life to trying to make someone happy and it never worked? I've done that. But again, that was my value system. So what have you decided is valuable about you that is not actually truly valuable to you, that if you would give it up would allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive the true value of you? Everything that does not allow that times a godzillion, will you destroy and create it, please? Or right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, bubbles, creations, bases, and beyonds. That is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you're new to the show or new to Access Consciousness, please go to theclearingstatement.com if you want more information on that. It's just a magic wand we use to clear our energy here on the show. So there's always a link in the description if you want to click on it and get more info. Okay, back to the value of you. So if you get clear, so you start to clear out all these lies about value, and then you start to really look in the world, okay? And you can start outside of you. It's usually easier to see what's going on over here than it is to see what's going on in here. So from that clear space of you've lost all the lies of value, you start to notice, what do you find valuable about others? Okay, so what are those things that are really, really valuable to you? So kindness. When someone's like truly kind, not nice, not agenda-based, whatever, but when they just come from this total space of kindness that almost like knocks you off your chair, that's so valuable to me. Those people, that's so valuable to me. When someone's interested and curious universe, baby, that is so valuable to me. Those are valuable elements to me. And like I said before, my top number one is anyone who's doing everything they can to make the world a greater place. However that shows up, it doesn't have to be the same way I'm doing it. That is so valuable to me. Those are the people I want to spend time with. Those are the people that I want to commit energy to and engage with. Okay, so that is so valuable to me. What is also valuable to me is those that are willing to have fun. And what's so funny is I lost that along the way because I didn't see anyone valuing fun. When you're a teenager, that's the only thing you value, and then you become an adult, and then it's like the value is, and the next steps that you're supposed to be doing with your life, achieving the house, the car, the two cars, double car garage, you know what I mean? The items, the possessions, those were never actually valuable to me. I did convince myself that they were, and that does not mean I don't like pretty things. I love pretty things. I love my car. I love accumulating wealth and upgrading my life. but it's not my top value. It's not the most precious thing to me in the world because I can always just create more items in my life. There's certain items like, like my beautiful, actually both of my beautiful rings, like these are irreplaceable. These are different. But it's really those other things I talked about that are those high ranking pieces of my personal value system. So I would like you to take a moment and just look at that for you for a minute. You might have to come back to this piece once you've cleared out all the lies, but what is it that you see so valuable about other people? And not from the judgment, not from what you told. I used to see people like, I'd be like, wow, look at how skinny and tall they are. Oh, and it'd be like, they're so valuable. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, I was like 12, okay, so give me a break. But now I'm like, oh my God, that person is so caring and so willing to show up. And I think like that like honestly just makes me fall in love with people when I see those moments, when I see people choosing that. Not always convenient, but never a diminishment of them. But they're willing just to show up in such a caring way to expand someone else's life. I'm like, wow. That is so valuable to me. So look at that. What is so valuable to you in this world? So precious, so valuable. These aspects of people that you may have seen them show up. Maybe it's the way that they're so charismatic or they're able to speak with ease publicly or the humor that they can create. So maybe write a list and get a sense of what are those things that you find really, truly valuable. Okay, we're coming to the end, but here's the fun part. So now, as you have this list, this value system, you're starting to get more clear on it. How many of those aspects do you have that maybe you've never acknowledged? Or are you capable of that you haven't allowed yourself to step into? So let's go back to that consciousness making the world a better place. That's like my top every day, everything. Every day I ask, what could I choose, be, do, have for that? Every day of my life is dedicated to that. So if that's top of my value system, I have to acknowledge how valuable I am. What? So that means I'm more valuable than a different version of me that isn't doing that, but has all the cars, all the houses, a vacation place in Paris, I don't know, all the things you could think of, right? The perfect husband with delicious abs and like, chest stuff. The men, yes, those pectorals. Um, so this version of me that at one point that's what I wish to create myself as. She's not really as valuable as the version of me that is real and true. She's got cool shit, but she's not valuable to me. She doesn't rate high on my value system because she's not out there doing everything she can to change the world. And then the caring piece. So that's another thing that I had to acknowledge within me as I would perceive those people and their caring and their kindness. Well, you can only perceive that which you already be or are capable of being. So then I had to go, oh my gosh, I'm that. So if I value that so highly, then I also have to value me so highly because I am that. Whoa. Okay. So I'm actually pretty valuable. My self-worth is very high because I'm worth a lot given even just those two items I mentioned. Please do this for you. So on that value system, whatever it is that you've discovered is true for you, true for you. Okay. And it can be someone that, does whatever it takes to achieve their goals. It can't like it doesn't, it could be whatever it is for you is true. It's not wrong. There's no perfect way to do this, or it's no ideal way to like live your life. And then notice what of those things are you already that you've never acknowledged, that if you acknowledged it would give you an undeniable sense of your worth, your value in the world? And then the ones that are on that list that you don't yet have, if you perceive them, listen, if you perceive them, then you already are capable of being it. So whatever it is keeping you from being that, just kill it. Use that magical access consciousness clearing statement and destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, talk, bad, all 100 shorts, boys, bullets, creations, spaces, and meows. You know what else is valuable to me? Really cool hair. Does it change the world? Changes my world. Okay. So, value system. Does it have to all be serious stuff? Look at that value system. Look at what's true for you. And then please acknowledge where you're already on the fucking scale, where you're already more valuable, truly valuable, and not, this reality may not put you, you're not be on the scale of this reality. On the scale of this reality, I am probably pretty low in value. I can see from what people have tried to take from me what they see as valuable, you know? I'm very creative. I have a brilliant mind for creativity, and people love to take my creations and, you know, pretend that they're theirs or use and abuse that kind of thing. My ability to stay present, my ability to manage things. I can see where people I see what they value about me, which is great because you can use that to your advantage. Be aware of what people value about you. It might be they just want to value you for sex. It might be they want to value you because you're a good listener, so you can just sit there and listen to them all day. But don't make it your value system. Use what you're aware of to your advantage as far as where the people in your life or this reality is valuing you. That's great. That's brilliant. But if you want true self-worth, if you want to really value who you are, you got to know what it is for you. And then you got to see where you rank. And if you're not quite as valuable as you know you can be, fucking choose it. Choose to be that person that wakes up every day and goes, what can I do to change the world? Choose to be that person that's kind and caring even when you don't feel like it. I've been so exhausted and my kids are driving me crazy. And I want to be that cranky mean mom. And I'm like, I don't value that person, that version of me. That's not valuable to me as a parent, as a mother. What kind of mother would I value right now? And I become that. That's important to me. So what if it was that easy to really know the value of you? It's all in here. It's in here. Your awareness, your knowing, perceiving, receiving, your being. It's not out there. They don't know. They don't know what you know. I hope this contributed to you. Thank you for joining me in the Curious Universe podcast, where we break down the structures of a reality so you can create your own magnificent, phenomenal reality. We will see you in the next show. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?